Canola School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Alberta Canola Producers Commission, Sask Canola, and Manitoba Canola Growers.
Calvin Hepner with Real Agriculture, and joined now once again here on Real Agriculture for the Canola School by Angela Brackenreid, agronomy specialist with the Canola Council of Canada. And Angela, it seems every year we keep hearing reports of clubroot disease being discovered in a new area or at levels higher than previously found. So for growers in making the decision for which canola varieties to grow next year, at what point should we seriously consider, or should we definitely look at growing clubroot resistant varieties?
Yeah, it's a great question, Calvin, and I think a question that a lot of growers have. So from the Canola Council's perspective, ideally we all start growing clubroot resistant varieties early. We take a proactive approach and grow it before we have a real problem. And I think in Manitoba we are fortunate that we have that ability to do that, where most of Manitoba is in a fairly low clubroot spore concentration. In practice, we do realize that there are some challenges to that early adoption. For instance, we know that there's other potential issues for some fields or farms that may take precedence over selecting that clubroot resistance, like extreme blackleg issues, for instance.
So then, in that case, it's a matter of prioritizing the trait that you're looking for in your variety.
That's right. So we need to look at what's our number one most yield limiting factor and select a variety based on that, and then kind of go down the list of priorities below that. So when we have to kind of make that risk analysis for clubroot in particular, we need to look at, is there clubroot close by? In what concentrations are we scouting for the disease, and what kind of rotation are we on? So if we're in a pretty short canola rotation, we know there's clubroot in the area, it's a pretty high risk situation, and we really should be looking at adoption of a clubroot resistant variety.
Okay, part of that risk assessment could also include submitting samples and actually getting soil testing done?
That's right, yeah. So we have a really great lab available to us here in Manitoba, a Manitoba Pest Lab, or PSI, that can do clubroot soil tests for you. It's a fairly cost-effective test. Nice thing of it is it's can be done really at any time. It's not done in the same way as soil testing. You're just taking a fairly small sample of soil. Usually we encourage to do it at the entrance where most of the soil is deposited when we're entering the field. And that test comes back relatively quickly, and it'll tell you what your spore concentration is in that field. And
growers in other provinces have options for submitting samples.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's other labs, and if you go online to canolawatch.org, we keep updating that list of labs. Actually, clubroot.ca would be an even better resource to find out which labs you could use.
All right. From a variety perspective and options for producers, we are seeing more and more on that side of things as well.
Yeah, you know what, that's a nice thing. When I talk about variety selection and having to look through the priorities for your farm, it's becoming easier and easier to do that, where you don't necessarily have to make sacrifices based on that number one issue or number one yield limiting factor on your farm. And I think we're going to continue to see that with varieties coming onto the marketplace, that they have multiple traits that we can utilize, such as clubroot resistance, blackleg resistance, and the ability to straight cut. So it gets easier and easier, I think, and will continue to get easier for producers.
All right. Thanks for your insight and your information today again, Angela.
Thanks, Calvin.